I'm Portia Williams, and I brought my mom, Miss Diane.
Hey, hey.
And my sister, Lauren.
Hey, y'all.
On my new podcast, Portia For Real.
And we're taking some of your calls, giving you, the listeners, some advice on whatever you got going on in your life.
One thing for sure, two things for certain. If you listen to us, you'll be crying or laughing.
Or both.
Both,
okay? Portia For Real is out now. Listen in Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hi, I'm Chelsea Devantez, host of Celebrity Book Club, a new podcast from Stitcher. Each episode of this book club explores the power of women telling their messy, sometimes ugly, mostly empowering stories in their own words. So come join me, come get in the book club. Let's talk some shit. Celebrity Book Club is out now. Listen in Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Time to step your vision board game up, everybody. Today's guest shares how designing a destiny declaration board will manifest the life you want and deserve. Every sector of our lives is pretty much under construction. Family, under construction. Career, under construction. Relationships, under construction. Emotions, I know mine live under construction. Finances, under construction. We might as well be under construction together. Welcome back to Under Construction with your girl Tamar Braxton. I have been on a quest to live a life full of intentional actions. Now, what does that mean? Well, I'm taking strides to only do things that move me in the direction of my destiny. So today on The Blueprint, our guest shares her story and method to creating the life you want through pairing an intentional vision board with clear declarations. Oh my God, I love that so much. Speaking of clear declarations, now did anybody else declare and decree that we'd have a new president in 2021? Yes, I know I did. Amen. Won't he do it? Yes, if you let him. And we did. Looks like we all went out and voted. I'm a little late in recognizing our president-elect Joe Biden and the beautiful vice president-elect Kamala Harris. I'm so excited for them to go into office next year. But your girl needed to know this was official. And I don't want to do no recounts and taking stuff back, and ain't nobody got time for that. You know what I'm saying? We had to make sure the outcome was what it was supposed to have been. All right? And so now that it is official, I want to give a huge congratulations to our future president and vice president. You know, it's really amazing when you really think about it. In this century, guys, we have had a Black president, and soon we'll be swearing in our first woman vice president. And let's be clear, she's not just a woman, y'all. She is a sister, okay? And for all of my parents out there, what did this conversation sound like with your kids? I know that my kid was like elated, like he went out and voted, y'all. Like he don't even know what's really going on. He only 7, but he was like excited about Joe Biden winning the presidency. Well, I'm happy to see that we're going into a new direction with new visionaries. I'm looking forward to 2021 and all the positive changes that are happening. I'm declaring and decreeing right now that it's nothing like this 2020 shenanigans. Amen and amen. Today on Tamar's Take, I'm sharing my 2 cents on preparing for the holidays. Now, I am the biggest fan of Thanksgiving, and I know a lot of you guys already know that I am Mrs. Christmas. And we just can't do that this year because of COVID. And I'm not having, all of my family and cousins and friends stack up at my house eating macaroni and cheese and pumpkin pie because I'm not getting COVID over that. And I just feel like, we have to be responsible. And one of the things that I thought about is, what about Zooming dinner? And I thought about, yes, missing my mama greens and missing my sister's sweet potato pudding. But I can keep my coin. I only have to make 3 or 4 things. I only have to make a small portion of things and Zoom my family and not have extra dishes and go on about my life. You know what I'm saying? It is going to be weird with just Logan and I, but I'm actually looking forward to that quality time that we'll get to spend together at the table, just being thankful for right now in this moment this year. It really definitely, I know for me, could have gone another way. And I'm just really grateful that God has allowed me to see, things clearer and be in a really good place with myself and notice the beautiful things that he has surrounded my life with. So I'm actually really looking forward to spending Thanksgiving alone with my baby. I want to know what, your ideas are. Why don't you hit me up and let me know how you guys are spending your COVID Thanksgiving. Just remember the true meaning of this time of year. Togetherness, which might have to be virtual, and that's okay. But we still have love. All right, I'm finna keep it a thou. Baby, it is all me. Now it's time for us to tap into our inbox and see what questions y'all have for y'all girl Tay Tay today. Let's see what y'all got for me.
Congrats on your new podcast, Tamar. I absolutely love it. Although I do have one question. Are you planning to write a book about your life that's under construction?
Maybe. I think I have a lot to say. I know that some people are writing books, honey, but I ain't gonna get into that today. Maybe I'll write my book after they write their book. I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, it's my story to tell. I'm the one who needs to be telling it, right?
Hey, Tay. I have been in therapy for just over 3 months, and I heard that you've been in intensive therapy for maybe about the same amount of time. I, unlike you, am not getting all of the benefits of my sessions because I can't open up to my therapist. Do you have any suggestions for your girl?
Opening up to your therapist. Let me see. Maybe that's not the right therapist. It's been 3 months. You should be able to, comfortably talk to your therapist, and be open and honest because, look, this is why you're here. You're not here for play. We did enough for play, didn't we? I think that would be my advice. I'm not saying stop going. Maybe you should explore another therapist because I'm telling you, I can tell my therapist anything. I know she tired of me, child. She know everything. And the more they know about you and what you are thinking and your true thoughts is the more that they can help you. So that's the only advice that I have. But I'm not a therapist. Why don't you talk to your therapist and tell them that you're not comfortable? This ain't it, You have a question for your girl? Drop me a line. And it might just get answered anonymously right here during Keep It a Thou. This is our space to connect personally, so don't be shy, y'all. Send me your questions about everything from thickening your edges to speaking your mind effectively, y'all. And all you have to do is email me at ucwithtamar@gmail.com. Up next, brand expert Tara Gates Williams is going to share the blueprint to creating a Destiny Declaration Vision Board. This is the blueprint. Come on, y'all. Let's go. Now, I'm sure you've probably heard the phrase, write the vision and make it plain. However, a lot of people have no idea that it's a tiny phrase that comes from a small book in the Bible called Habakkuk. Y'all, that's new to me. And I done read the Bible. I probably ain't get that far, but that's okay. As we draw closer to crafting our New Year's resolution and grabbing some cardboard and magazine clippings to design our 2021 vision boards, I want us to be very clear on what we want. What is the vision that we are manifesting over our lives? To help us craft a winning blueprint, I've asked brand expert Tara Gates Williams, the visionary behind creating Destiny Declaration Vision Boards, to join us. Welcome to Under Construction, Tara.
How are you? Thank you for having me.
Oh, no, my pleasure. Now, I know that you created a lot of brand strategies for shows, launching on BET. You partnered with Sprint to provide branding training to small businesses and trademark the Rookie Retirement Program for professional athletes. And the list goes on and on. Now, on paper, it looked like you was killing the game professionally, right? So,
Yes.
like, what had happened? Like, your whole personal life was in shambles. That usually happens, when we were super duper professionally, like,
Yeah.
popping. Our personal life is, like, struggling.
Yes.
Is that what was happening?
I was in a long-term relationship. I was in it for 15 years, and I got out of that, and I said, I'm going to be single. So I took like 4 years where I was just single to myself, not doing anything. I was dating my work. I was dating Netflix. And, everybody's like, why are you single? What are you doing? I don't look at single as a bad thing. I look at single as being singled out by God to get yourself together.
Okay.
And that was something that I had to do. I had to do a lot of internal work.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was in shambles. I was treating relationship like business. I needed to produce results, right? So it was all about, I needed a result. Something has to come out of this. I've been in this for 15 years. It's going to have to produce fruit, right? I was in that mindset, but sometimes when you get in that mindset, you overstay your welcome, so to speak. You stay in something too long that's not meant for you, and then God will come by and just jack you up and pull you all the way out of it. And I just said, I'm going to be single. And I took 4 years to really, really define what I need to look like in a relationship, what I needed to give to a relationship.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Well, I have questions about this 15-year relationship. Now, how are you in a relationship for 15 years with no commitment? Were y'all engaged at some point, or what happened?
No.
Girl, shut up. You just had a
together.
15-year-old boyfriend?
That's what it was. Yeah, I met him when my daughter was 4 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So he really helped me raise her. They have a relationship to this day. She considers him her father. He's a good person. I was living on hoop dreams, right? As I think sometimes as women, we're like, okay, it's going to be, this is the year.
Mm-hmm.
This is the year, and I was always one of those people who said, I would never stay that long. And I did.
Yeah.
But I learned a lot. Had I not been in that relationship, I would not be who I am right now.
You manifested your whole husband after 4 years. So walk us through that.
I got to a point where I was resigned to relationship. I was just like, you know what? I'm not getting married. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to be single for the rest of my life. That's where I was. And then New Year's Eve, I was like, you know what? I have a lot of love to give. And, me and my girlfriends were having this conversation about being thirsty. There's nothing wrong with being thirsty. Just don't be parched. Because when you're thirsty, you get to choose. If I'm thirsty, I get a little bit of love, a little bit of water, whatever it is you're thirsty for. But when you're parched, you're going to guzzle down anything.
Absolutely.
And God will send you a test just to be sure you're ready. So I got in this mindset that, I know what I have to give. I came from a giving place.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I sat down that night, did my vision board, and I had 8 words on that vision board that described my husband. And
okay, so what were these 8 words now?
Babe, can you get the vision board? I got to send him upstairs. I need y'all to
Come on, babe. Come on, babe. Yes.
The thing that changed the game, it just wasn't those 8 words, Tamar. It was the declaration behind it. At the time, I was reading a book, Think and Grow Rich, and it was really helping you write out what you're declaring.
Mm-hmm.
So when I think, okay, I got to declare and decree this thing, because when you declare and you think of the definition, you think of like saying something in a solemn, emphatic manner, like you're saying it emphatically, like you mean it, like your life depends on it. And when you think a decree from like a theology standpoint, you're in this place of, that's God's purpose. It's predestined. It's predetermined before you were even born. It's what God had for you. So when I thought about that, I said, I'm going to declare what God's promise is for me. I know I'm not here designed to be single. I know I have love to give. So I made that vision board with those 8 words, but then I also made a declaration. And my declaration was, marry the man that God created for me. Be the wife that loves, respects, honors, and elevates her husband to his fullest potential by 2019.
So you put a date on it.
Oh, you got to, because I'm not going to have anything out there open-ended.
Okay, so let me just stop you real fast, because I just want to catch the listeners up. Because most of us believe in putting together a vision board with a bunch of girlfriends, a bottle of wine, some magazine clippings, and some pictures. Okay, so you saying that's okay. That could be effective, but that's not the effective godly way. You saying? You put the date on it. You wrote 8. You didn't put no pictures. You put 8 words down and a date. And you just said, babe, in the background.
So it's nothing wrong with getting with your girls in a bottle of wine,
right? Of course,
together. But you have to operate in this in this manner of what it is you want. Declare that. So when I thought about it, I was like, these are the characteristics that I want in a husband. And this is this is the key thing. What are you willing to give? So it's like when I do my declaration vision board event, I always tell people it's all about your declaration. What you desire, you want to declare that. What you're willing to give to that desire, and by when you want to receive it. So look, my husband brought this down here. I know you all can't see it, but here it is, Tamar.
Yeah, I'm going to read off the words for y'all because
So yes, so I just put my husband is
unstoppable,
Can you
saved,
see it?
loving, secure, loyal, honest, inspiring, and thoughtful. Now, what's that? What's the cue cards at the bottom?
This is the declaration that I would say every day.
So,
Every day I would say this declaration. Married to my man God created for me. Be a wife who loves, respects, elevates my husband to his fullest potential by 2019. And I would say this every single day. I mean, I'm going to tell you, one day I was leaving for work, was running late, got in the car, forgot to say my declaration before I walked out the door. I came right back in the garage, parked, went upstairs, said my declaration, and got back in the car and went to work.
So when we're doing a vision board, it's not just, okay, we're doing a vision board, we're going to put it on the wall, put it in the closet or a prayer closet, wherever you put your vision board. You're saying you have to speak over it. Speaking over it is the action behind it.
Yes, because it's power in the tongue.
Yes.
The words that God said is written, what, is it 10 times in Genesis? God said, every time God said something, it happened.
Right.
You know, God said, let there be light. God said, so I was saying this every day. I was speaking this out every day. And what is the powerful part about it is I was very clear on what I wanted and by when. Because God I expect God to move on my behalf. So if I'm going to speak it out, I know it's going to happen. And literally, I did this 2018, and I met my husband February 2019. But I'm going to tell you how this is why I know it was God all up in it. And it became, because when I said marry the man that God has for me, love, respect, elevate, honor, and all that, my husband, by 2019, I met my husband on a panel that we were speaking on. He's a licensed mental health therapist. And he was looking for a brand manager, and that's what I do. Right. We connected through that. And then I started working with him, and he started elevating. I got him a lot of things. We rebranded him. He blew up. And I remember going to my board one day and reading that. I was reading this every day. And in one moment it stopped. And when I got to the part that says elevate my husband to his fullest potential, I was like, that's what I was doing with Bashe. That's what I was doing. And so God brought him to me through work because he knew my tunnel vision was on work. Had I met him in any other way, I would not have given him time of day.
So when did you realize that the person you were manifesting was the person you were working with?
Ooh, it was so many different times. But I remember one night talking with him. He was doubting himself about something. And I just said, I cannot wait to the day that you see yourself the way God and I see you. And I just saw something in him that I said, this is him. And when I went to the board and read that, I was like, that's what I'm doing. I asked God to give me somebody that I could elevate to their fullest potential. And that's what he did. And I still told him, I think it was 2 or 3 times, I said, you're not ready for me yet.
During this process, while you was working together and helping, he was asking to date you.
Yes.
Okay, because I'm just going to keep it 1,000 with you. I mean, on my vision board, every time I meet somebody, I think that's the person on my vision.
No. So, Tamar, I'm so glad that you said, I'm so glad that you said that, because we can't be afraid of saying not yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not yet. And I remember when he had expressed interest and I said, I don't think you're ready. Neither am I. So we're going to keep working together because I don't get feelings confused with finances. We still doing a job.
Period.
Still doing a job. And so he came, we revisited it one day after a shoot. So he said, okay, I'm going to wait till after my birthday to start dating. So after his birthday, he said, I want us to talk, after my birthday. He went out of town. Literally, he gets back in town, calls me from baggage claim and said, let's go to dinner, let's talk. he took me out that night, asked if he could date me. And I said, okay, well, is it just we dating each other or we dating other people? And he said, no, we still date other people. So we started dating, and about 4 weeks later, he said, what would it look like if we were to be exclusive? And I said, I don't know. I have to fast and pray on that for 7 days. And I went into fasting and prayer on 7 days. At the end of those 7 days, we came back together. I said, no, you're not ready. You're not ready to date me.
Oh,
God
wow.
revealed 3 things to me. And those 3 things I expressed to him. And then he said, these 3 things are just a conversation. We could talk about these. I said, well, something's telling me not yet. It's not meant for us to become exclusive yet. He said, well, I'm going to fast and pray for 7 days. And he went into fasting and prayer.
I know that's right.
He went into fasting and prayer for 7 days, and we came back together, had a conversation, and we became exclusive. One thing I never had to do was tell him or ask him or anything. He just did those things.
So let me ask you a question. How long were y'all dating before you showed him this vision board? Now, I don't want nobody to listen, y'all. I don't want y'all to show these men y'all vision board so soon now. I just want to know, how long did it take?
So I had my vision board hanging on my bedroom wall, and I have my affirmations taped to the ceiling above my bed. So before I even hit the floor, I'm looking straight up and saying my affirmations. Then I pray. Then I go to my vision board.
Oh, you were serious? Okay.
Oh yeah. Because I had 3 vision boards, Tamar. I had one for my husband, one for my business, and one for my purpose in life.
Oh, so you shouldn't put them all together? It shouldn't be on one.
Now you can. Now you can. So they would hang in my room, and so whenever he would come over to visit or whatever in my house, I would never let him come in my bedroom.
I know that's right.
One night he came to my door, and I said, this is holy ground. You can't come in here. I said, because I made a promise and commitment to myself that the next man that is in my bedroom will be my husband.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And the next man that lays in my bed is going to be my husband. The next man that comes in my room is going to be my husband. So I would stop him there. And then I remember one night he came and ran, jumped on my bed, rolled around and ran out of the room.
So he was marking his territory. This is something that, I recently have come to terms with. You can do all the vision boards and praying that you want to do, but it's the promises that you make to yourself. You have to keep those promises that you make to yourself, because once you step across that line and break these promises to yourself, you are no longer the person that you say you are. You are automatically contaminated, period. You have to keep that word with you. You can't keep that word with somebody else. Yeah. Y'all caught that? If you can't keep that word with you, you can't keep a word with somebody else. And that's that bottom line.
And you have to learn how to love yourself enough to keep that word. If you're not loving yourself enough, and that was something that happened in those 4 years where I was single. Like I feel like God singled me out to really be in communication with him. And I became in this place where I was loving myself.
Yeah.
Like being home on a Friday night, reading my Bible or watching Netflix I did not feel lonely.
You didn't feel lonely?
No, because everybody...
Well, how long did it take for you not to feel lonely after the 15-year relationship? Because once we get out of a relationship, we feel lonely. We got the lonely spirit.
Well, I would say I got out of the pity party real quick, right?
Okay.
Because I was like, I can't stay here. If I want to progress, I can't stay here. It's a blessing that I'm not in that anymore. So it's just like I was probably had my little moping around for a couple of months. I'll be honest, about 2 or 3 months. And then I just got in this place of that's when I got my discipleship program at church, and I did things that were Christ-centered and focused on getting my relationship, because I had to love myself.
Yeah.
I realized how much I did not value and love myself. Yeah. And when you get in a place of valuing and love yourself, you can
set those boundaries, and they mean everything to you. Yeah.
Yes, you can emit the things that you don't even say, and a man will pick up on it. They'll respect it.
Yeah.
And you have to stay committed to yourself, because another commitment I said is that I was not going to fornicate anymore. I wasn't going to have sex before I was married.
For 4 years.
I was celibate.
Father God. Okay.
No, I slipped up a little bit. I'm going to keep it all the way 100. Because look, when I got back out there, it's like, I'm going to date again. I'm ready to date. God was like, you really ready? He sent me that test, right? And so, but I got to a point, but a good 2 or so years I was before I met my husband. And I just said, I'm not doing it before I said, the next time I am going to make love will be my wedding night. And that's what happened.
Wow.
That's what happened.
Okay, so let's talk about
and fortunately, he was on the same page as I was.
See, that's amazing. That's amazing. I think
yeah.
that was a clear sign that he was the one, especially if y'all was on the same page without having those kind of conversations.
Yeah.
Well, that's bomb. Okay, so listen. So you done manifested the man, honey. Obvious Larry. He's right there. Okay. Y'all doing the vision boards together as a couple. I think that's so bomb too and important. So let's talk about manifesting your dreams for your career. How do you go about that? Is it the same process?
Well, yes, because I think you do need to make a declaration, but I always go through the process of checking in with God first to find out what is your purpose in life?
Mm-hmm.
What are you desiring to do? And I really feel like when you figure out what your purpose is and what you desire to do, you write a declaration behind that. And I had a declaration for my purpose in life. I had a declaration for my business. I had a whole board of signature lines where I signed a contract every day, imaginary contract every day for deals that I was making.
Wow.
So once you're clear on what your purpose is and you move in that purpose and you're very clear about your declaration for that purpose and you take action on that purpose, that means you're going out there, be it networking or creating innovative ideas or making strategic partnerships, whatever it is, you have to be in movement in that. Nobody's going to come knock on your door and give you your dream job or your dream goal, or your dream man. So I always started with, what's my purpose? Why am I here? And when I got clear on that, I wrote a declaration for that. And then when I had that declaration, I'm saying it every single day, but I'm also making moves to accomplish those declarations. So I'm partnering with people. I'm doing innovative ideas. I'm pitching
the action
stuff.
behind the words once again. We're speaking with Tara Gates Williams. We'll be right back after this quick break. Green Chef is a USDA certified organic company that makes eating well easy and affordable with plans to fit every kind of lifestyle. With Green Chef, it's easy to eat well and discover new recipes every week that you'll love to cook. Their expert chefs designed flavorful recipes for your lifestyle with plenty of options to choose from each week. Green Chef lets you choose from a wide array of easy-to-follow recipes, perfect for keto, paleo, and plant-powered diets, or even if you just want to eat healthier. And everything is handpicked and delivered right to your door. Ingredients come pre-measured, perfectly portioned, and mostly prepped, and their recipes are quick and easy with step-by-step instructions, chef tips, and photos to guide you along the way. Green Chef is also the most sustainable meal kit, offsetting 100% of its direct carbon emissions and plastic packaging in every box. And they offer contactless delivery to your doorstep for easy home cooking. My experience with Green Chef was absolutely amazing. It was so much fun cooking with my son for a healthier dinner option. Go to greenchef.com and use code Tamar90 to get $90 off, including free shipping. That's greenchef.com and code Tamar90 for $90 off, including free shipping. Welcome back to The Blueprint. We're speaking with brand expert Tara Gates Williams about creating a Destiny Declaration vision board. So if you're doing the vision board about your career and you don't know what your purpose is, what do you suggest? Do you suggest putting things on the board that you are interested in and seeing what comes out to grab you? What do you think?
I always start with what's the added value that you bring? What do you feel your added value is? What is it you feel like you could do better than anybody else in your sleep? Start with that. I always start with things that can actually produce fruit as opposed to kind of like these lofty kind of ideas, because I may like to paint, but I'm not an artist. That's not going to make me money. That's not going to get me where I need to go. So you still have to live. I always start with, what is your added value? What is it you do well that you know is going to enable you to, make money, make an impact at the same time? And then move, then I think when you come into that area that you have added value, then you're seen as an expert in that area. And when you're an expert in that area, it gives you more opportunity. And then you can branch off and say, hey, guess what? I have this, now I paint portraits.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whatever it is you really, really, your interests are. But I would always start with the added value that you bring.
Well, how do you stay encouraged when you've done your vision board and it don't seem like it's working out? What are your suggestions then?
My biggest thing is that if you can't encourage yourself, it's hard because everybody's not going to understand what your vision is. Everybody's not going to buy into it. Yes, there's nothing wrong with having a support group. There's nothing wrong with having an accountability partner because I do coaching groups all the time. However, that's what's so good about the declarations. Every day you get to get up and speak over your life.
Right.
And this is what I found with a lot of the ladies in my group. They say that keeps them going. Because before they had the vision board with the wedding dress on and all the other stuff, but those don't speak life. That's just pictures. I can't speak over the picture. But when I get up to go to that board and I can emphatically say my declaration, that gets you going. That's the kind of like your own accountability piece. I know I have to say this every day, and I know I have to mean it when I say it. So that to me gives you kind of like that self-encouragement that keeps you going. You have to be in this place where you're speaking life over yourself, even when you're tired, because God is an on-time God. So whenever he comes, it's going to feel like you did not wait 1 second.
Yeah. So do you ever suggest that we change some things on our declaration vision board because things are not moving at all?
One thing about it is if you put a declaration up and you're committed to that vision or whatever it is, if you don't believe it, if you don't have faith in it, then it's just, it's to me, it's like falling on deaf ears. Like when I made these declarations, I believed it. I knew I was going to meet my husband in 2019. I knew I was going to be married in 2020. I didn't know who it was, but I knew it was going to happen. I had that feeling. I knew that inside. Now, the biggest thing is the impatient piece. Yes, we're all impatient. I've had people tell me, I ain't met him yet. What do I need to do? And it's just like, I just tell people to do some self-evaluation before you go changing what you declared and check in with God about it.
How long does it typically take? Like, is there like a roundabout time, or does it depend on the individual until you start seeing some type of results on something moving?
Well, see, you have to acknowledge everything that happens. I'm going to give you an example. A good friend of mine, when I posted my wedding video, because that was another thing. I said I was never posting a man on my page or anywhere until it was my husband. The day I posted my wedding video, I got like a gazillion thousand calls. Like, I didn't even know you was dating anybody. How'd you get your husband? And I started talking to a good friend of mine in Atlanta, and she was like, tell me what you did every step of the way. And I walked her through it every step of the way. What she started telling me was, she was like, you know what? I haven't met him yet. This is since August. She was like, I haven't met him yet, but the quality of men that I'm meeting has shifted.
Wow.
Because I have shifted.
Yes.
So she may not have met her husband yet, but she is moving in a direction. So you have to look at all steps. It's about the process.
Yeah.
And who you are in the midst of the process. Are you patient? Are you grateful? Are you thankful?
Yeah.
Are you praising God in the process? Yeah. Are you moving in such a way that you're changing what you're doing when it comes to men? And I'm not downing anybody for sleeping with anybody, but when you take sex off the table, then you have to communicate with people.
Yes, you do. You got to deal with the issues that's in front of you. Absolutely.
That you get to know them so well that you'll know if they're for you or not, and if that's something you should be sharing with them. Yeah. Sleeping with somebody is totally your choice, but for me, I took it all the way off the table. I had to
not no sugar, nothing.
Because we kissed, but it wasn't anything beyond
anything other than that.
Yeah, I had to be disciplined. It wasn't easy. Trust me, it wasn't easy. I'm sure. But you have to be in that way because it's a sacrifice, right? You have to make sacrifices. If you look at biblical times, every time a sacrifice was made, blood was shed.
Yeah.
Every time. A friend of mine, she mentors young women. She tells them, as a woman, when you have sex for the first time, blood is shed.
Absolutely.
And that blood that's shed over your husband's penis is covenant over your marriage. So you just can't give that to anybody. So you have to be in this place where you're protecting the covenant that God has put you in, and it's over your marriage. So you just have to, have a different headspace around it. Like my girlfriend, the quality of men she's meeting is changing. They may not be the one, but they're seeing her
She's
different.
in the company of the man that she wants to meet. She's meeting the company of the people that she wants to be around.
She had one man tell her, he's like, I ain't ready for you yet. That's what you want to hear.
Yeah.
Because if you see me and you can't come correct, then I'm showing you something different.
Yeah.
You're not going to run the foolishness on me. So that is part of the process, Tamar, that happens Because
Yeah.
for every step that happens in that process of God's plan for you, be it relationships, be it career, be it your purpose, be it your goals, everything, I count it all joy.
Yeah.
Because it's leading to something.
Yeah. We talked
Yeah.
about celebrating our wins and how important it is to celebrate your wins instead of just looking at the things that we want. We have to celebrate the things that are happening in the now that are good for us, because that's a part of our growing process. And that is so important. And that's a process that's important to loving yourself, is understanding and celebrating the good things that are already present.
We cannot be afraid to tell a man no.
Come
We
on.
cannot be afraid to tell a man not yet. Because if they're not ready and you're trying to just hold on to them, because I had a bunch of girls be like, girl, what you telling that man no
Right.
for? That you better tell him, what
Yeah.
And, but see, what it was is I knew what I deserved,
Mm-hmm.
and I did not hesitate to say no or not yet. But when you're in this place of being very clear to pay attention to these signs, you don't hesitate in saying no to anything. And you have to set that standard. I don't care how cute someone is. I don't care what they have. I don't care whatever it is. You have to stay true to yourself. So I'll always lead with marry the man that God has for me. Because I know if God created him, I know he's perfect. Every single thing with my husband and I was about alignment. It was stuff would come up and it would just be in such a God's alignment. We would be floored. So here's another thing. When you're operating and you're not afraid to say not yet, everything will come so fast.
Yeah.
Everything will, it won't even feel like you waited. I don't even feel like I waited, because in February 2019, we began working together. He expressed interest probably like July, August. And then we started dating September. We became exclusive November. And I remember when December hit, he asked me if I would go to couples counseling with him, which was marriage counseling.
So y'all went to,
And then we
hold
went to
on.
couples
Skirt.
counseling in
This is
December.
very important. So y'all went to counseling before y'all got married.
We started January with the couples counseling, and then January 30th on our third session of couples counseling is when he proposed to me at the end of therapy.
Wow. So you feel like the couples counseling was important to y'all future?
Oh, absolutely. I had been single for 4 years, so I was walking around like I'm healed and whole, child.
Oh no, baby.
Can't no man tell me nothing. I was all up in counseling, triggering left and right. And what it was is that I was just single and those feelings were dormant. So I didn't have to deal with any of those feelings. But when I got in a relationship, those things came out.
How important do you think therapy is to your relationship now, your marriage now?
It is so huge because things that we may disagree on, we get to talk about in counseling, and we have someone to guide us through and the tools to talk through it. So we're not walking around here with pent up anger and mad at each other, talking under our breath, rolling our eyes, and like it's your fault. It really helps us understand and take accountability for ourselves. And it's not easy. Don't get me wrong.
No, it's not.
It's not easy to sit in counseling and have to face yourself for things that you don't think are wrong. And you really realize, like, going through that process really helped me deal with some things, help him deal with some things, and we still grow from it. It helps us as a new couple to really grow. I think that you should start it and never stop.
Never stop.
Never stop. Because when we did it in the beginning, it was every 2 weeks. Then we went into once a month. And so it's a blessing to have. I think people need to do that.
I love that you said that because, I've told our listeners, listen, counseling was the best thing that I've ever done, and it doesn't mean that you are, crazy or there's something wrong with you. You just got to go and get someone else's perspective so they can help you work through whatever you are dealing with. It really is a beautiful thing. Now, like you said, it's not always easy. It's not always easy to face, your demons or yourself, right?
Yeah.
But it really does help you shuffle through all the garbage and all the unclarity.
It gives you tools on how to handle certain things. It gives you tools, and it helps you be transparent. And also it helps you to be in this forgiving space and self-love and forgiving yourself. So that's the biggest thing too, with self-love is that self-forgiveness. Because I held myself hostage for a long time for staying in a relationship. I was angry with myself for staying in a relationship for 15 years.
Yeah.
And then when I let that go, I was able to really fully love. So, one big thing, if we don't remember anything else today, another thing is you cannot be afraid to say not yet or no.
That's a t-shirt, sis.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
everything to
Yeah.
me. And that still
Yeah.
goes back to the promises that you make for yourself.
To yourself.
And that
Yeah.
all stems from self-love. And I know people think it's cliche, but it's just the truth. It's like things really don't start falling into place until you have that self-respect and self-love. It just doesn't. And it doesn't work out until you figure out that I got to love myself before I can extend myself to somebody else. And that's the bottom line.
Exactly. And it's because even my husband, even when he was like, I'm waiting till my birthday to start dating. And I was like, okay, well, I'm a commodity. I may
That
not
was
be
a rule
around
he
you.
set for himself.
Yeah,
That was a
exactly.
boundary.
And he was even like, well, that's a risk I'm willing to take. If you're not around, you're not around. And we both had that stance, and we stayed true to it. And here we are today.
Well, child, I feel like we should all be claiming victory come 2021, okay? Tara, before I let you go, I need to know what you feel is your greatest takeaway from today's show.
I'll start here. In my wedding vows, the first thing that I said to my husband was, I thought love had locked me out until I met you. And a lot of times, people feel like love has locked them out. When is my time? And I tell people it's time to cut a new key. Because whatever key you have been putting in that lock, the ridges are what makes it unlock. A key will go on the lock, but it doesn't always unlock the door. Correct? You want to be able to turn the lock. So you have to do some things differently in the midst of all of that. And it all starts with self-love.
Yeah.
Going to sacrifice second. And then you're just going to be in total praise the rest of the way. Because everything is not about the outcome. It was never about a wedding for me. It was never about a 52-carat ring for me. It was never about any of those things. It was about marrying the man that God had for me.
Yeah.
So you have to be in this place of understanding. Cut a new key. Because what you've been doing
ain't working.
Who you been allowing
in.
Yeah. Okay. Who you've been allowing in is that the person God made for you. And when you get really clear on that, starting with the self-love, you got to make some sacrifices in that.
You better preach, child. And I think you just preached the whole sermon to the saints and non-saints. You got to change the key. You got to change your movements. You got to change
cut a new key. Yeah,
wow,
it is.
That is
have
so
to.
Amazing. Cut a new key. That's so bomb. I feel like one of the best things that you have said today was taking the physical off the table. Because the digmatism is a real thing. No, I'm for real. And I ain't trying to be crass. I'm just being a foul. And you don't know what's really going on with that person. And that's how sometimes our vision boards become very clouded, because we do fall in to the isms. Okay. Yeah. And those words, we start to make those words fit with the person that we are with. Yeah. So I think that is one of the most important things that you said. Now, I ain't saying that everybody, withhold. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that's an important thing when you're serious about your vision. Ain't no need y'all doing no vision board if you're not serious about your future. If you're not serious about your change, if you're not serious about your growth, please don't waste it. Don't do it. If you're not serious about doing your declarations and your affirmations, she just told you, just like the Bible says, faith without works is dead, period. You got to put the action behind it. I applaud everything that you're doing. I mean, I am so moved by this conversation. It has opened my eyes to my vision board that's been sitting in my closet, because I think that a lot of us don't really know the rules of the vision board and the declaration that has to come with it. I know I've never heard it like that before. Yeah. And so I really appreciate that. Where can we find you? How can we find more information about how to change our lives for the better? Because, baby, everybody listening, we going up and up and up and up. We want everything that God has for us. We are King's kids, okay?
Yes.
So how can we find you?
Connect with me on Instagram at Tara Gates Williams, TaraGates Williams. I'm planning another declaration vision board event right before New Year's Eve. So I'm thinking about doing it December 30th. So come on, Tamar. We're going into 2021 in power, in purpose, in promise.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for coming.
It's
not an easy place to say when you need help. And, it's about learning how to manifest the things that we desire. Thank you so much for coming to Under Construction.
Thank you for having me. Congratulations.
Tara, this has been truly insightful and an amazing conversation that I didn't even know I needed to have. Okay. Now, one, I can't wait to actually test this out for myself. And Lord knows I've got some things to declare and decree over my life. Okay. Now, if you want to share your journey with me, or if you have any questions, just send me a note to ucwithtamar@gmail.com. And I want to hear about your journey on y'all vision board to 2021, child. Well, it's time for me to say goodbye, and I appreciate you spending this time with me. The conversation continues same day, same place next week. You can find me on the gram at Tamar Braxton. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button on Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Pandora, wherever you're listening. And if you happen to subscribe to Apple Podcasts, go ahead and rate and review the show because I read the comments, my team read the comments, and it helps the show. See you next week. Under Construction is a production of Mosauce, a Stitcher brand. It's produced by Angel Lavitz. Our recording engineer and sound designer is Rashad Smith. Our executive producer is T Square. Music provided by Radio and Audio Everywhere Company.
More sauce.